So you want your Bionicles to do this. Then I have great news, because you are in the right place. I want to start this video out by giving a quick disclaimer. I am not a Blender expert. I've been using Blender for quite a while now, and I have learned a lot, especially when it comes to rigging Bionicles. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to introduce you to a lot of the concepts that I learned on my own for how to rig your own Bionicle figures in Blender. Unfortunately, I don't know every little thing about Blender, but that's okay, because everything that I'm going to show you are the bare necessities for what you need to learn for how to build your own Bionicles in Blender. In order to do this, we need to follow 7 major steps. The first step is setting up Blender. So we need to download the latest version of Blender and set up our add-ons to the way that we need them to be so that we can use them for this project. The second step would be setting up your studio model and making sure that it is ready to be imported into Blender. The third step is exporting your model out of Studio properly, so that way we can set it up in Blender properly. Step 4 is importing and setting up your model in Blender, which is going to be a pretty long step because there are some problems importing from Studio into Blender. The 5th step is adding color, which is very important, especially if you want your models to look good. The 6th step is basic rigging, so setting up an armature for your model, that way it can move. The 7th step is advanced rigging, and that will include our IK setup as well as our foot roll setup and IK to FK switches if you decide you want to use that for future animation. Here are some things not to expect from this tutorial series. One of the first things is that this is not a Blender fundamentals tutorial. I will not be going over the UI or how to navigate Blender. These are things that you will need to understand before you come into this tutorial series. I will go over certain hotkeys and things like that, but I do expect you to have a fundamental understanding of Blender before you get into this. Luckily, the Blender developers have a fantastic tutorial series, and I highly recommend you check it out before doing this tutorial. I will leave a link to the playlist in the description of this video. Another thing that we are not getting into in this tutorial series is retopology. A lot of the people that you see nowadays doing Bionicle animations are actually doing retopology, but this tutorial is serving as a quick start guide. So I will not be going over retopology for this series just because it's a pretty tedious step and it's not exactly necessary for some of the basic things that we are doing. I will not be going over advanced texturing. I will only be doing very light texturing, telling you how to put textures on models and colors on models just to kind of get them looking like they would in Studio. I will not be going over lighting and rendering. Again, there's tons of tutorial videos out there on how to do that, and if anything, lighting and rendering is very easy to do with only just a few button clicks. Alright, so now that we've covered what we are going to do and what we're not going to do, let's go ahead and get started.